of the podcast air. Steve or Jason showing flair. Fantasy tips they always share. For the elite who really care. Shout out to the guests who come along. Strategies that make us strong. Plotting moves that can't go wrong. In this community we belong. Elite FPL, the lights they glow. Through the ranks we start to flow. With every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go. We analyze, we create. Every game week we debate. From the captain to the late. Moves that make us celebrate. Points and transfers we all crave. Following leads to the brave. In this league it's more than a game. Fantasy football's true aim. Fantasy football's true aim. Elite FPL, the lights they glow. Through the ranks we start to flow. With every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. We analyze, we create. Every game week we
Warning, motherfuckers. Another season of FPL's on its way.
debate. From the captain to the late. Moves that make us celebrate. Points and transfers we all crave. Following leads to the brave. In this league it's more than a game. Fantasy football's true aim. Elite FPL, the lights they glow. Through the ranks we start to flow. With every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go.
Hello. How's it going, guys? We're just playing around with some things here. Steve-O, how's it going, man?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Let's get the tempo up. We want enthusiasm. No, yeah, this is just a test stream, basically. Me and Jason have been having long discussions today, and Jason has been working hard behind the scenes, doing a lot of graphical presentation work, and basically you messaged me, didn't you, and said, do you want to do a test stream tonight? And that's what we're going to do, just chat a load of twaddle about what we want to talk about. The usual thing, really, about the fact that there's been a load of new rule changes coming into play over the weekend. I know that today, unfortunately, there's been some price reveals. I don't really know any. I don't really want to know. I explained on the Patreon podcast a couple of days ago that the launch of FPL is a bit like Christmas, and I don't want anything spoilt. And when I get price reveals, it's just release the game. Just please release the game. But I'm all good, Jace. I'm warm. What about you, mate? And who's here live in the chat as well?
In the chat, we've got Podner, we've got Bilal, we've got Animations here, FPL Ava Beers here as well. How's it going, man? How's it going? We had people in the literally as soon as we posted it, we're going to be going live. Brew's here. Brew's here also. Hey Brew, how's it going, man? How's things? You know it's the start of the season when Brew's in the chat. How's it going, buddy? My microphone probably sounds a bit pants because I've just realised that I haven't set it up properly. It's only coming out from through the left channel at the moment. So apologies for that. I'll get it sorted. But I've been working on some graphics, as you can see. So that's been quite exciting to update the graphics, although it was kind of forced. A bit of a long story on that one. Clickers is in the chat. Kevy's in the chat too. How's it going, guys? Are you excited for this new season of FPL? There's some changes, of course, to the FPL game. Last season, of course, I pretty much quit about a third of the way through the season and decided that was me done. This season, I'm looking forward to starting again with a clean slate. Steve-O said he was going to quit FPL last season, and then he decided that he can make millions of ad revenue. And he's like, no, mate, this is the year I'm going self-employed. Yeah, he's laughing, by the way. How's it going, Connor? The pool hustler, how go to you? We got Mark Antigua, Macken's in the chat too. We're also going to be talking about the Patreon at some point in the next stream or two as well. Just again, for those of you coming over from Discord, hello to you guys. For those of you who are still supporting us on Patreon, thank you very much. And there's going to be a lot of content this season on Patreon where you can pretty much get a daily upload from Steve-O, and I'm actually going to pull my finger out Steve-O and actually do something on Patreon.
Note that on the diary, everybody. Put that in your diary.
Yeah, so we got this screen as well. We got the old split. We got the scene where we got the got ready for the old FPL to be going live. At the moment, it's nowhere near being live. When I say nowhere near, you said to put the stream title as FPL launching tomorrow.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be tomorrow.
Who reckons it's going to be tomorrow? Like, why? What makes you think tomorrow, Stevie?
I think the fact that they've been releasing all these random rules across the weekend and the odd price play. Again, I don't know the information about the price reveals. I did see Gianna Battici, he's released a video about players that have been released of their prices. Yeah. And I'm thinking, how much information do these people know? So I think it's got to be. Put it this way, James of Planet FPL had a very strong rumour that it was going to be released on the 21st, which is tomorrow. And it's a bit of a weird coincidence that all the rule changes and whatnot have come over the weekend, and then the 21st is appearing now. Not that he's got anything to do with the game or whatnot, but certainly I have a feeling that, tomorrow will be the day. And that would be just over 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks before the first kickoff, Jace, of the 15th of August. What 15th? Yeah, about that. Yeah. So I like I said, I treat FPL like Christmas, specifically the launch. And I know that you said during a phone call that me and you had that it's the beginning of FPL, which everybody loves. Really, the excitement levels, and certainly for me, I am genuinely excited to be putting a template team together and trying to beat you again this year. But I did say to Ray that I've told him I want to be winning Torbay Elite next year. I want to win it, Jace, next year. I want to be up there. This time I want to be playing it.
How far were you from winning it last year?
I think it was like 60-ish points last year. I was third, but I was about 60-ish points off Alex. I forgot his last name, but Alex. Yeah. Talking of Alex Volo, I told you to say something, didn't I?
Shout out to Alex Volo for the thumbnail from about 2019 that we re-borrowed, just rehashed it, re-borrowed it. He's a great supporter of the show. He supports a lot of FPL channels as well. So shout out to Alex Volo, forever in our hearts, of course. Alex, if you come and watch this, it's not an obituary. This is just a shout out. So can we just kind of talk about price releases? Are we going to do that, Steve? Are we actually going to?
Well, I'd rather ask you the questions because I know that you don't really keep up to date with social media, whereas I kind of do. And I want to ask you, do you know anything about the rule changes whatsoever? Genuinely?
No.
Right.
Genuinely, I don't.
Right. I will tell you the rule changes that they've brought into play. And I'd like to see the people in this stream watching, seeing your reactions. So I'll start with the ones that are most important. I'm not going to go on about the assist because it has no bearing on anything. So one of them is the fact that, so what did they release on the Friday? There was a new rule change on Friday, which I've completely forgotten about. But what I will say to you is that when the African Cup of Nations come along, from game week 16, it doesn't matter whether you've got 1 free transfer or 5 free transfers. The game is automatically going to give you 5 free transfers, Jace.
Can you just repeat that? Because I don't think I was listening.
Thanks. So when the African Cup of Nations starts, which is roughly game 15-16,
right?
The game,
no
matter how many transfers you've got in the bank, so whether it's 1 or 5, we, the player, will automatically
basically
get
mini wild card for AFCON.
Yes.
Okay.
The other change, and it's to do with chips. It's to do with the chips. Could you take a guess at what they've done with the chips?
They brought the all-out attack chip back.
Nope.
Oh.
Go on, keep guessing. Let's play.
I liked the all-out attack chip.
Don't cheat.
I'm not cheating.
What do you think they've done with the chips? Have some guesses, because you're quite good at with your creative mind. You're quite good at chips. Remember last season?
How many chips are there?
4.
There's 4 chips.
4 chips, yeah.
In total.
No, there's 8 chips in total.
What? That makes no sense.
So there's 8 chips. In fact, and I tell a lie, there's 8 chips in total, but we already have 2 wild cards. So they've given us 3 additional chips.
They've given 3 additional chips.
Yeah, can you guess what those? Just take a guess at what those 3 additional chips are. I'm not going to hold a gun to your head. Let's just rack. I'll give you some.
Is the assistant manager still around?
No, it's not. They've removed that, unfortunately.
Thank God for that. I didn't like that much yet. I think, have they got a chip for?
Come on, Jace. We're not holding a gun to your head. This isn't score predictions.
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know what they would have done.
Okay, do you want to reveal?
Okay, have they got have they got a chip that multiplies points?
No.
Have they got a chip that multiplies points other than triple captain?
No.
Okay, come on, we're going to be all night. What have they done?
Well, they've basically doubled the amount of chips that we had last year. So we now have 2 triple captains, 2 free hits, and 2 bench boosts. And I'm just looking at you. And the 3 chips that they've technically added can only be used between game weeks 1 and 20 or something like that, and then the other 3 obviously for the second half of the season. In my opinion, I have some conspiracy theories around this, but because Mark Southerns works for FPL, now we have no idea what his role is. I did find Andrew FPL Nightmare's point of view that he could be the janitor for all we know, which did make me smile. But in all seriousness, I think that Mark is trying to tell the game that there's too many complaints about point scoring and chips and everything. And I just have this feeling that he's trying to appease everybody with that decision by just going, here's everything. Because his co-host Az was suggesting this for the past few years on their own channel Black Box. And lo and behold, it's come out that we've now got double the chips. It's it's just lazy, in my opinion. It's a lack of ideas.
What's the community said about that?
Like me, they're just like, whatever. Who cares? Who actually cares? Nobody. From what I could gather from Gary's stream that I've listened to, Andrew's, it would appear that people are just like, well, you're just making the game easier for the casual, essentially, because the way I've worked out in my head is you just mentioned the line, we've got a wild card for AFCON. In theory, people like Firetog and various others that are very good at planning, you can, in theory, have game week 1 to 4 build up 5 free transfers, use however many you want, then use a free hit during a period. You can then roll your transfers to get 5 again. So you're essentially able to wildcard at any point between game weeks 1 and 20. Gets to game week 16 and it's, well, here's another 5 free transfers. You can, in theory, if you're good at planning, be wildcarding every 4 or 5 game weeks, in theory.
So there's going to be a lot more rotation of teams, is what you're saying to me.
How do you mean?
Well, with all these transfers that people are going to be able to do, they can essentially just the player potentially, if there's a big pool of players that people are picking from, you're going to see a lot of rotation in people's teams throughout the season.
I don't think FPL sadly works like that, and we'll get onto something a big change that they've made. Probably the most important one that they've made in the game. To be honest with you, that could have an effect on the game itself. But I don't think we're going to be changing our way of playing, other than maybe being a bit more aggressive. Because you've got to use the triple captain bench boost and free hit, the first ones, within the first 19 game weeks. So, for instance, Trigger Lips is talking about playing bench boost in game week 1 and building up a team which covers him for 5 game weeks. And then he's got 5 free transfers, does what he needs to do for a free hit, does what he needs to do with that, and then continues like this to build up money, which is a good strategy, which is a very good strategy. But I do think that most people are still going to play the game like we always would anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So I'm still just trying to sort my bloody microphone out at the moment. 1 second, because people are saying that they're only hearing me coming through the. Well, I'm quite quiet for a lot of people, so yeah, it's different. It's different. So I mean, of course. Oh, there we go. I think I've sorted it now. There we go. I've sorted it. That should be better. That should be louder. There we go, guys. Is that better? 1 2 1 2 1 2. Talk, Steve-O.
You're definitely louder than.
There we go. There we go. Cool. Sweet. We sorted it out. Right, we finally got there. I mean, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more planning though. With that amount of chips, or that amount of additional chips.
Yeah.
So
in theory,
is this going to make it more strategic than last season? Do you think? Is it are people saying it's playing into the casuals mindset, or are they saying that it's
gonna I think the argument
separate
is
the wheat from the chaff, like, so to speak?
There are two sides to the argument. One which I basically agree with both. It's people that are casuals. Like, I always use Mr. Reed as the perfect example. Mr. Reed is somebody who every single season, within the first 20 game weeks, will use all his chips. And he always does really well. But then, because he's used all the chips in the first half of the season, he plummets down a hill because he can't take advantage of double game weeks. Well, now it's, well, I've already used my chips now. I've still got 4 more when we go into the second half of the season. So it could play it, ironically, into the hands of people like Mr. Reed. But again, I'm more from the angle of Andrew, who basically says that actually this could be a benefit for people like us that take the game seriously, that are able to plan and strategize. Because a lot of these casuals may just be like, yeah, like Mr. Reed, yes, I can just, it doesn't matter whether I play my triple captain because I've got another one in the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. I'm just of the mind of it's just lazy ideas, weak ideas. I think they could have done anything. They could have added just literally 3 additional chips, but to just go, yeah, we're just doubling them up on them. All right, okay. It's not particularly.
So what's the overall consensus that you've seen again from the community, that people are just like meh, or
They're just like nah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
whatever.
cool.
They feel that it's appealing more to the casual and making the game.
Let's do a poll. Let's start a poll.
Yeah, of course.
Are you happy with the chips this season? Yes and no. Here we go. We'll start a poll to have it for a few minutes. See what people say.
Is there any comments about this in the chat, James?
Well, here we go. Let's quickly go through some of the comments. Most changes are good, says Ben0906. It's better than that they try and make the game different every year, but they definitely could have done more. That's Ben. Balls Deep says there's an argument that there might be too many things to factor in for casuals to keep interest, I reckon. So Balls Deep's thinking casuals are going to be dropping off from playing the game. Certainly into the second half of the season, it could put people off completely. Hey Kevin, how's it going, mate? We've got Harry Dawson here. I don't know if I shouted you out. Personally, I think the change is a good thing for the game. Ice G says you won't have any casuals anymore. So again, it seems to be a running thing that casuals are going to be potentially not playing the game. Hello, Ricky. How's it going? We've got... You can hear me on both sides. There we go. Good evening, says Colm. Hey, Colm. How's it going? Twill Media is this is like one of those reaction videos of folks saying that they love sci-fi, but they've never watched Star Wars before. Well, the fact that I'm reacting to the chips that I had absolutely no idea. I mean, to be fair... I did see something about the chips. I didn't exactly know what the chips were when I was trying to connect my my X account up, and it was basically along the lines of, "Is that it?" Essentially, the chips. Is that it? They didn't go into detail. I don't even know who said it now. FPL Matty's there. The trouble is bench boost gain. The bench boost game week 1 is you don't have much money for a 15-man squad. That's if you want to do bench boost on game week 1. Steve-O, what do you think of that bench boost game week 1? Is that a thing that you would ever entertain? I don't know. It's
the reason why people go for the bench boost game week 1 is because you have the most information. You pretty much give or take know that everybody is going to be playing their full strength teams within game week 1. It's a categorical fact. We're all going to know that certain players are injured, certain players won't be playing. Apart from Tottenham, where there's a small chance there may be a bit of rotation in their game in the opening day against Burnley. But I think that you can count on the fact that the majority of their first team will be playing against Burnley. Thomas Frank isn't going to want to start the campaign with a 0-0 against Burnley or even a 1-0 win, even though that's what I kind of expect the game to end as 1-0, 2-0. But neither here nor there. The point being is that I think most teams, other than, ironically, Man United, your team, which we'll get onto in a minute.
Oh my God, yes, the Barker. Remember the Barker?
And remember, we only want to be on here for half an hour. So
yeah, I know. But I'm having so much fun.
Man United are another team that we could be struggling to predict. But other than that, I think that we could have a guess. But I want to talk about the biggest change. And just before we get onto that big change, how's the poll going so far?
Okay, so right now, the poll has had 35 votes on it. Are you happy with the chips this season? It's very split. It's 54 to 46 at the moment. So guys, don't forget to have your vote. We'll keep the poll going for a few more minutes. Are you happy with the chips this season? Vote away in the chat. Pickford should be 5.2, 5.5. No one picks him. Do you think Pickford's too expensive at 5.5?
No, I heard Andrew say.
Are people just wanting it, like more money to throw about in their teams, essentially, by saying that?
No, I agree with Andrew that Pickford's one of the top FPL goalkeepers, and you're guaranteed points from him. He plays for a defensive team. He makes lots of saves. He's going to be expensive. It's why I'm a massive advocate of James Trafford. I am playing hardball that if he goes to Newcastle, and I read a report a couple of hours ago that it looks like it's been failed. It looks like it's going to be failed, and Man City are going to be potentially coming in for him, which is just, it's going to anger me so much if he goes back to Man City more precisely. But I just think that these goalkeepers that will always get you points, of course they should be priced high. They're bringing you points, and yeah, I think that not that I'd be going there personally myself. I'd rather be going with James Tarkowski for obvious reasons, and most people understand this. Shall I give you the reveal of the big news, Jace, regarding a new rule change in FPL?
Hit me with it.
So, for a while now, I'm reading this off the Fantasy Scout. For a while now, attacking threat has often been the main consideration when picking outfield players in fantasy. That has even been the case when selecting defenders, since clean sheets can disappear so quickly. The go-to options have often been offensive fullbacks, while centre-backs have frequently been rated according to their ability to score goals, blah, 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 blah. Basically, Jace, FPL have decided that now we are going to, in the words of the fantasy side, that we're now going to reward players that do block tackles and tracking back and blocking shots and clearance off the lines. However, Jace, and this is what really, and here's the first F-bomb, fucked me off. I heard it on Gary's stream and I thought, nah, they can't be telling the truth here. So whichever player in any given team gets these block tackles and shots, etc., if they get 10, an accumulation of 10 of these, they'll get 2 extra points, Jace. 2 extra points.
So for block shots and clearances?
Yeah, there's various other factors, but yeah.
Are they work?
So
question: are they working on the Opta stats on these?
I'm assuming the case is yes. So here it is. Here, any defender who reaches a combined total of 10 clearances, blocks, interceptions, and tackles in a single match will score 2 FPL points. So
hang on. Is that a combination of everything or individually?
Yes.
So hang on. So if they have 6 block shots and 4 clearances, they get 2 points.
Yes.
Right,
However, this is what really fucked me off, and I'm actually offended. If, however, for argument's sake, a defender was to do that 20 times, you'd think, wow,
4 points.
4 points. Brilliant.
3 points.
No, it just stays at 2.
Oh, wow.
Which I just find utterly ludicrous, considering that it's very rare for a defender to be doing this in one match, let alone doing it 20 times.
What about a goal line clearance?
So yeah, there is a rule in there.
That to me is like scoring a goal.
Yeah, they've changed in the bonus point systems. There's a few changes in the bonus point systems, and clearance off the line does come into play.
Do you think that goalkeepers? No, they get save points anyway, don't they? But I was going to say, if goalkeepers, if they get great points for saving a penalty. I'm just trying to think, if they make a ludicrous save in the game, it should automatically award them a save point instead of 3 saves accumulating to 1.
No, I wouldn't go that far. But what I've always said or thought about is, once they get, because let's get real here, it's very rare, Jace. Let's not fuck about it. It's very, very rare that a goalkeeper gets
ridiculous
more than 3 or 4 saves in a match. Now, yes, if you're a relegated team or someone struggling conceding goals, like Areola is a prime example, they can get upwards of 9 saves. And Flecken was an odd exception last year. But overall, most goalkeepers don't get the save points. And I was thinking, they get the 3 saves, and you get 1 extra point. And I think thereafter, for maybe every 2 saves, you get an additional point. And then once you get to maybe 6 saves, then for every save after that, you get 1 additional point. I don't know. But I do feel like, do you remember last season when they brought in that rule of a goalkeeper, if he scores a goal, he gets 10 points instead of 6? And you're thinking, when the hell does a goalkeeper...
Well, they wouldn't score a goal unless up for a corner or a ludicrous clearance that bounces over the goalkeeper or something ridiculous like that.
I'd put it to 20 points. If you're going to do
that for 20 points, like...
Yeah. I really do like what they've done with this this defensive point scoring. But then when you cap it at just 2 points only, it's just, then what's the point in release? What's the point then?
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing in the community, and again, it's another thing that's just annoyed me, is large content creators waffling on about the fact that, wow, now we're going to be having a range of players that we would never ever consider. Yeah, but you're still never going to play them though.
There's still going to be 30, 40 players to pick from. And there's not going to be more than that. So I'm going to read out. Oh, the poll, by the way, 10 minutes. We've done the poll for 10 minutes. We've got 52 votes on this. Thank you very much for those that have voted. 57% say yes. Are you happy with the chips? 42. So just slightly in the majority there. People are happy with the chips. Hello to the people joining the stream. And
what do they have to do, Jay? They've got to make sure they're doing
Hit that like button for the algorithm. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And consider checking our Patreon out. Steve-O does the Patreon. It's awesome. Plenty of content on there. And also, if you get on the Patreon, you may decide to become a 99p member and support the channel. Buy Steve-O a coffee. And with doing so, you get access to the Discord. Because the Discord is now exclusive to Patreon, if you didn't know that. So yes, the poll's closed. Majority of people say they're happy with the chips. Steve-O, I cut you off. You were saying, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going to read out 10 names of players which the Premier League website has highlighted who will benefit, and players that you may consider next season.
Yeah.
To bring in your team because of the additional points that they got. So I want you to say yes or no to whether or not you would even consider buying these players. So these are the top 10. Would you ever consider buying James Tarkowski of Everton?
I suppose I would, and if he's playing well, he's in form.
Yep, I would as well.
Yeah.
I would genuinely consider James Tarkowski. Casado, the midfielder for Chelsea.
Oh yeah, remember him?
A defensive midfielder. Would you ever consider buying?
Question. These clearance and what was it? Last ditch tackle points that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do they only apply for defenders?
No, it's for midfielders as well. It applies.
So okay. Oh no, not so much. Casido.
Bednarak of relegated Southampton.
No.
Dean Huijsen, admittedly he's gone to... some of these players have left, but a Bournemouth defender in Huijsen.
Again, are we going to be starting to look at some like stats and tackling and clearances and like kind of... Cause
well, this is the thing. We're going to get...
Are we going to go into like stats of previous season? Are we going to be getting defenders in that are going to be under the cosh because they're going to be getting more points?
Well, it's a hot topic with Trigger Lips, and I'll tell you that in a second. So Bournemouth defender Huijsen, would you consider buying him?
How much?
Well, he would have been 4.5, so a Bournemouth defender.
I wouldn't have, but with these new changes, I might now.
So the question for you then, based on what you've just said, is...
We need more information.
No, why would you buy a Bournemouth player, if you don't feel they're going to keep a clean sheet?
Because you're only going to get a maximum of 2 points, aren't you, from these?
Yep, and remember the other Bournemouth defenders. So last season we had Kirkes. Would you choose Kirkes over Huijsen because Huijsen is... There we are then.
But you make a good point, because The thing is, I think FPL have kind of, like you said, they should stack these 10 to 20, because if you've got like a Man City, like, and there's a team under the cosh against Man City or Liverpool, say Liverpool are completely dominating a team, but the team hold out for a draw, but the defenders are putting in like tackles, like like throwing their bodies in the way of shots, clearing the ball. Maximum they're going to get is 8 points.
Well,
plus bonus.
Right, I'll give you a perfect example, right?
Because like, for me, if you are throwing yourself in the way of, like, Mohamed Salah goes through on goal, and you throw yourself in the way of that, that's like pretty much saving a goal, right? Almost. And you're getting like 10 of defensive actions that would constitute 2 points maximum. You're not going to get any more than 2 points from defensive actions, right? I agree, Steve. I think they should have given that multiplied up to 20, 4 points, 30, 6 points. It's not game breaking, is it? So you got imagine if you had a defender that did 30 defensive moves in a game, managed to get 30, a combination of blocks, last-ditch tackles, clearances, off the line, whatever, and then you get 2 points.
But this is the point that really angers me. Is that, imagine if me as a Burnley fan have gone, right, we're away at Man City, we're away at Liverpool,
Denver, Bruno.
We're probably going to lose 3, 4, 5, 6-0. However, I've got a Stev, our centre-back, on the bench. I think potentially he could get in what you've just said, all the blocks, clearances, blah, 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 blah. And imagine that we lose 2-0. All he's done is, imagine if he got something like 20, what you've just said, 20 clearances, blocks, etc., etc.
Yeah.
All he's done is got an extra 2 points on top of his 2 appearance points, so he's got 4. Whereas the player, for argument's sake, Kirkes of Liverpool, who's kept a clean sheet, but also made like a couple of blocks or whatever, and a few tackles, and that's accumulated up to 10. He's got 2 points as well, despite the fact that Esteve has put in a better defensive display and has got what you've just said, 20, 30 clearances, etc., which is never going to happen in a game. But essentially, he's not being punished, but you're getting no benefit out of it. So Esteve basically becomes a dead player anyway. And you wouldn't even play a Burnley player against Liverpool or Man City.
Yeah.
And this is the argument. Like, they were using Casado. Who was it against? It was like against Man City last year. And they worked out that he would have got you in a game something like 5 points. And but are you really going to play Casado ahead of Brennan Johnson? Where Brennan Johnson's got Burnley at home, but Casado is away at Man City. Of course you're not. You're going to play Brennan Johnson. And the only thing I've heard from Trigger Lips, which makes sense about this, is during a bench boost when you're struggling for a bit of funds and you've got someone like Casado on the bench who's averaging 5 points a game, that 5 points could be very, very valuable. However, another thing that I heard, which could be really, really frustrating, is that they may put the prices up of these players which have got a good chance of getting these additional points, which would just make them invalid even more. For what, like you just said, what, for an extra 2 points? It's like Steve Merchant says, who cares? I'm never, ever going to play Casado ahead of Salah.
Yeah.
In fact, here's a question for you. Who are you going to play, Casado or Palmer? Or Neto? They all play for Chelsea. You're always going to play the attacking player. You're not going to be thinking, well, Casado, he's going to put in a few defensive blocks. You're not going to be thinking like that. You're just going to be thinking, Palmer, Neto, they're in form at the moment. I reckon they've got a good chance against Man City of scoring. It hasn't done anything to the game whatsoever. And when I see content creators making out that this is great for the game, well, in theory, for defenders that you would, and you've already said here, like someone like Tarkowski, you may consider over Mikalenko. But in the back of your mind, you will be thinking, actually, I'd still rather go Mikalenko over Tarkowski because of his attacking threat.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that it's like a half-assed attempt to try to entice people away from attacking options in defence.
Wow, I mean,
but isn't it going to be one of those things that we'll have to see how the season pans out and see how this?
Yeah, I did say to Ray on a voice message that I think after several game weeks we'll see how this actually affects the game. To be completely frank with you, I think all that's going to happen is, and I use 2 players as an example here. So imagine you've chosen your draft, and you go into game week 1, and you've chosen Kirkes over Frimpong because Kirkes has come in at 5.5 and Frimpong is 6. And the reason why you've gone with Kirkes is because he's got more Premier League experience, despite the fact that Frimpong is a proven high quality player. Blah 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 blah. But you went for Kirkes because he's 5.5. If you then find out though that Frimpong is more likely to be getting block shots and tackles and all this nonsense and that additional 2 points, there's a small possibility that you may think in your head, that 0.5 could be spent better on Frimpong because he gets those additional 2 points. But to be completely frank, it's not exactly game changing.
Harry Dawson in the chat says, well, Steve-O, you're pretty critical with these. Well, the changes they've made. You sound very unimpressed with it. He's asking you, Steve-O, what would you have done? So you talked about, I agree with you, multiplying the defensive point bonuses. I think that's a really good idea. But in terms of the chips and as the game as a whole, what would you have done differently that FPL
firstly, I would have kept the assistant manager chip. I thought it was actually pretty good. But
yes,
scrap all the transfer stuff.
Did the casuals enjoy that one?
Well, the casuals didn't even know it existed.
Because you have to remember, right, our FPL focusing on appeasing the 5% of players who are incredibly serious at the game, or are they looking to try and retain the 95% of the game that play for the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and they start getting overwhelmed with all the strategy?
Well, I think that to not want to use the word critical, but I will. I think FPL are more, like a lot of companies, are more obsessed with their social media than they actually are with actually focusing on the game itself.
So, Steve, what I'm trying to get at is, although you're not very impressed with the game, the changes to the game, you can certainly understand why they probably haven't gone full on radical.
All in my opinion they've done is tried to just go, people are complaining about there's no other options in the game from a defensive point of view. All right, then let's just do this then. But it's changed nothing. Oh, people are complaining that the bench boost and the triple captain, they've wasted it and everybody using it in double game week. Give them 2 then. Just give them 2. Oh, people are always complaining about the fact that when it comes to the African Cup of Nations, that they haven't planned properly. So they've got 2 African players in their team and they don't have the transfers. Well, they should have planned properly. No, don't do that. Just give them more transfers. All right, then. It's so lazy. It's lazy, Jace. Or anybody listening into this, it's lazy.
Is it lazy, or are they listening to the community, the overall majority of people that are talking on social media and maybe got their ears into places like Scout and, dare I say it, YouTubers that are well connected? Is it going to be?
Ask the question, James. Ask the audience.
At the end of the day, the people at FPL have to try to balance changes that they make to make the game appealing for the majority of people. Now, the hardcore element of the game want to have very much strategic chips and the ability to plan methodically to improve on their ranking and to certainly win their mini leagues, whereas the casual just wants to do as minimal amount possible to get as much points as possible. So I can certainly see why they've done it, and I think
look, I am an advocate of this defensive thing, but I think they've stamped on their own foot by capping the likelihood of a defender getting 10 of these combined is unlikely enough as it is. So to get to 20, you think about last season when a goalkeeper, they'd make, say, 10, Ramsdale was prime for this, would make 10 saves. Muric was another one for Ipswich. Make all these saves, never get any bonus points. And they need to be rewarded more. And I think once we as an FPL manager see that players are getting points, then it makes us think, it makes us want to consider, wait a minute here, Casado versus these particular teams, actually, he gets 7-8 points or whatever because he's making so many of these block shots, etc., etc., etc. But instead it's, we're just capping it at 2. So really at best, Casado is going to get 5 points if he doesn't get booked. Whoop-de-doo. Whereas Cucurella, who's my new favourite player, or Gusto, or Reece James,
or maybe,
they've gone and got an attack in return.
Maybe let's save your disappointment, so to speak. Let's just see how it goes.
Well, I think,
and let's just just think they. I mean, I think you can sum it up in one sentence. The changes that you think are meh, they could have done a lot more. However, they've played it conservative. They've been very conservative in the sense they've not gone...
Conservatives and lazy.
Well, okay, they've been lazy.
I genuinely think they could have kept the assistant manager chair and just sacked off all the silly rules regarding transfers and everything and just gone at a particular time of the season between game weeks 20 and 38. You get to choose an assistant manager for 3 game weeks and that's it. Fine. No problem with that. But they just got rid of it. They just gone, oh, people didn't really use it. Let's just get rid of it. What? You've barely tested it. If they wanted to give us additional chips, rather than doubling up, they could have gone, we'll give you Max Captain, which is...
I think, sorry to butt in, I just came up in my head, I wish that they would have done something that we could have done during the game.
Can you think of an example?
Yes.
Of what you mean?
So I really wish that they had gone a bit brave and they would have integrated some sort of dynamic chip that could have been something like a captaincy change, a swap captain.
So what Champions League does?
A swap captaincy chip that could only be played at half time. So like, do you know? And the only reason I'm saying this is because we'll call it a lifeline chip. So essentially, it's not a chip like you would imagine. It's not something you play before the game week. It's say you captained, I don't know, Erling Haaland, Manchester City. He goes off at half time. He hasn't scored anything, but Foden or whoever is on fire hasn't done anything yet in the game. But you think, you know what? I'm playing my lifeline chip. I'm switching my captaincy. Has to be for the same team. It can't be from any other team. It has to be from the same team. It can't be any other player in the game week or anyone that you got on your team.
The problem with that, the flaw in that is that what if you've only got one Man City player?
Then you suck. You're stuffed. But
well, there is a chip that exists. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but there's what's called Max Captain, which is basically you activate the chip for the game week, and whichever player scores the most points in your team is your captain.
Cool. I think the chip should be called something like Time Machine chip. So if the game week started and your captain, for whatever reason, does not perform, you've got up until half time to change it. And you can change it between any player in your team. There we go. That's all. And you got up till half time. Up until half time to change it.
Well, I would argue they've already designed that chip. It's not even a chip. It's part of the game.
No, it's not.
In Champions League.
I don't play Champions League.
So in Champions League or Sky or Telegraph, or well, not even Telegraph, but anyway.
You need the time machine to go back. You would pick,
for argument's sake, on the Liverpool are opening the game against Bournemouth on game week 1, right? So you captain Salah. Salah only comes through with a goal. So he gets 7 plus 3. That's 10 points. That's 20 points.
Yes, Rob.
You've got a choice. You can change your captaincy for the following day, or you leave it. And if you leave it, that's it. You've left on that captain. So what do? Do you roll it or not? And I think that is a slightly better idea that they could have brought in a rolling captain potentially.
Would you like this idea of a chip? Because obviously we've got all these chips now that are just duplicates. But would you like this idea of a chip? Would you like one opportunity in the season to undo a chip? You've got one opportunity.
I think we're.
So say you played your bench boost and it's an absolute failure. Do you think that they should have like a once a season opportunity to choose on any of your chips? Just so any of your chips you can undo it by the end of but as long as you do it before the game updates. Do you get what I mean?
The problem with that is that
the game probably doesn't work like that.
No, and the mechanisms of the
it's
game
break the game.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think of a way to keep the casuals happy. I don't know.
Well, the easiest way would be for looking at things like Gaffer or the Aaron Division fantasy game where they've got limitless chip, where basically you don't have the budget.
Unlimited
choose
players
any
from a
player you
single
want.
team for 1 week would be cool. Says Paul. I hear what you're saying, but I think this conversation just goes to show how majority of ideas for chips are going to fall on critical minds. No, I don't like that, because the moment you try to be like a little bit, I don't know, exciting about your chip suggestions. Oh, maybe we could do something where, this player, if they combine with that player and you successfully get the assister and the goal scorer, so you've got a chip where you combine the assister and goal scorer, and if you get it right, you get a triple bonus. Like that would be like ridiculous, yeah. It'd be like pinball. You almost like it's like the American judiciary system where you just basically get multipliers on multipliers. You get 10 life sentences, but you get 3.
Well, I think you. Sounds
that's
like
actually
you
not a
need to
bad.
try
That's
FPL
not.
challenge.
That's not. What is that on one of those chips?
Well, no. FPL challenge is a game in which every week you essentially have a chip. Like it's always different. The rules change.
No, but I'm not about every week have a chip. I'm saying
No.
But like this idea where you kind of correctly say the assister and the goal scorer, if you predict it correctly within the game by selecting it, say you select your captain, and then you've got an option to play the the predictor
So
chip.
Salah and Verts.
Yeah, say whatever Vert. Say you play the enhanced captainship. Let's call it the enhanced captainship. You play it. You then select the assister. If you get that assister right, your captaincy points are quadrupled. I don't know. Quadruple captaincy pick.
I think you're overthinking that.
I mean, to be honest, it's a pretty good. It's a good idea, I think. Anyway,
I do.
Hello,
I do. The point being though is that I just think that with the defensive changes, they've just basically done nothing.
a chip that bans another player from using a chip that week. Oh my god! Could you imagine? That would be amazing. That would be like. Oh, could you imagine the level of salt and anger, the anger in the community, if people were able to deny other people from using their chips? Oh my god, that would be so funny. That would be so funny. Like block. I'm going to use a block chip this week. Steve-O can't do nothing. Amazing. Oh, that's a really good. That's quite fun. That's a fun. But again, that's a fun idea. But there's no way the game would ever do that. Sabotage chip. You play the sabotage chip. Oh, who do you want to play it on? Steve-O. Captaincy points goes backwards. It gets like negative points instead of plus. That would be like, oh my god. Sorry. I'm getting carried away now with chip ideas. Sorry about that. 10-point deduction from a mini league rival. So we digress. Sorry about the chip ideas, but again, it goes to show that all these ideas, some people would love, but other people would hate. It's a very much a love-hate relationship with chips and FPL.
I think Trigger Lips used Championship Manager on the stream they did yesterday with Roberto as, back in the day, shall we say, it was a simplified game and you could play it within a day. Whereas nowadays, I mean, I don't play it, but nowadays you're pretty much a real life manager because you need to deal with everything, and it's very, very difficult to complete one match in a day, let alone a whole season. And it's the simplicity. When I was thinking about Call of Duty and how
you always talk about Call of Duty, you always compare things to Call of Duty.
But the thing is that you can compare the likes of FPL to Call of Duty because of what we've discussed before. It's like Luke Disable talks about it, which is about the meta. It's stick with the meta and you will do pretty well with it, i.e. Captain Salah in game week 1, you'll do all right, rather than going for some random thing. It's a bit like in Call of Duty. Stick with the MP40, you'll be okay. But if you want to play with the Gwr, that's fine, but you've got to be pretty good at playing with that particular weapon. The point being,
we're talking about World at War here.
Well, yes, World at War, and there's a lot of criticism.
One of the best. That was one of the best games.
Yeah,
is that the one with the dogs?
That's the one.
The dogs. Yeah. And
the reason why people loved World at War was the fact that and even Call of Duty 4, the first one, is the fact that it's the simplicity of the game.
Yes.
Fast forward to 2025, and it's so overcomplicated. They give you everything to the point of where now people just play it and they're like, I'm bored now because you've given me everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't strategize. Now, Warzone slightly changed the game a bit because with Warzone, there is a lot of strategy to it. However, they've just made the game very cartoony. But
it's a younger audience now, and I would say a lot
of course,
younger people are like,
and that's the thing with FPL. You were talking about appealing to a larger audience. I keep saying this. The reason why YouTube channels are the way they are, if we're going to talk at FPL, we'll talk FPL, is because adults want to be able to watch something where their 8-year-old can watch it.
Hello,
so it's
kids. Who would you
point.
like in your FPL team today?
Do you
Let's
know?
Look at the options. Steve-O, pull up the slideshow.
Mate, you must have seen Bluey.
I love Bluey.
Right, I can't deal with it.
Why not?
I cannot.
Bluey is a very, very good educational tool for kids to get to.
Yeah.
I like Bluey. It's the parents are amazing.
So does my nephew.
Parents in the world, Bluey parents.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the reason why that is so successful is because of what you've just said. It's perfect for children. And that's what majority of FPL content is. It's for children.
It's the Bluey of FPL.
Whereas content like this is for adults. And unfortunately, FPL, the game, doesn't want to appeal to adults. It wants to appeal to people that have got a brain like a child, where they come into a game and they go, what do we have to do? Oh, right, yeah, okay, we just have to... All right, then fair enough.
International Superstar Soccer Deluxe. Yeah, that was a game that I used to play. We got Call of Duty is a paid game. Yes, Black Ops 2 was the best. No, it wasn't. Guys, it's strategy game. We don't need more chips to make it easier for casuals, but changes to make the game better, says Sandri in the chat. We've got here saying Jason Stevo, bit off topic. I'm super curious, though. Salah and Haaland possible for you this season? What, to have both in your same team?
I agree with John Harris. John Harris said on the Patreon that he's really, really, and I agree, he is really, really tempted to go without both. And I'm in some form of agreement there. I think there's a possibility to go without both and go against it. I think Salah, based on his performances towards the end of last season, you ain't going to be paying 14 or 15 million for that. And I have a feeling he's going to do a Van Persie. Do you remember when Van Persie moved to Man United? And before, at Arsenal, he was a freak of nature. Goes to Man United, he was a freak of nature. Wins everything. And then the following season, when FPL put him up to 14 million, everybody still buys him. And he didn't perform. Now, there could be a million reasons as to why. It's the same with Haaland, though. Haaland, phenomenal season first round, phenomenal season second round. It's the FPL jinx, isn't it? The second they put him up to the highest ever playing price player, he fails miserably. And Salah, I think, could be this year's Van Persie and Haaland. I'm not saying Salah's gone off, but I think for 14 million, I think that the money could be spent elsewhere spread more better, in my opinion, because that's what he's going to be. He's going to be 14.5, 15. I hope they put both Haaland and Salah at 14. I hope they do, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, certainly we'll have to wait and see on that one. They'll be one of the last ones to be announced, surely. I
just hope they just release the game now and then
just midnight. Just wait till midnight.
Well, I'm telling you now, Jace, it would not surprise me.
Steve-O wants to get the small number after the team number. He wants to get like the 841 or something.
I'd love to get one. I'm pretty much on this.
There's no way you're going to get one.
There are certain FPL accounts that are probably literally pressing the button now.
There are people that are trying to get like the top 3-digit FPL account numbers. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not that sad. I'm not going to be. I will be like 180,000 or whatever, and you'll be like 50,000 probably, knowing you.
2 million. Well, I'm off tomorrow. So I'm going to know when it's up and running anyway.
Yeah. So guys, it's been a really good discussion tonight. We only were going to go on for half an hour. It's been over that. It's been an hour, Steve-O, would you believe, since we went live. So the aim of this was to get the stream going, because I had to completely start from fresh everything. So in a day, I think I've managed to get what I wanted achieved. There's a few more things I need to do in the back end, but that's a great success. We've got the stream running, which is good. We've got people in the chat, which is good. They haven't forgot about our channel, which is great. Same names in the chat. Some new names in the chat as well. Some fancy new icons next to people's names as well, letting me know who have been here and how long they've been with the channel for, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Ray's in the chat. Ray Qureshi's in the chat. Joe's there too. It's getting a bit late for people. You guys got work tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
David Hamill, Kieran Trafford's there too. Hello, mate.
In all seriousness,
No weak foot. Yep, carry on.
Overall, how are you excited regarding tomorrow? Really?
Well, I'm working, so not very excited.
No, I appreciate that, but with the game itself, the fact that it's going to launch at some point this week, genuinely, does it make you excited? That pause isn't good.
I mean, I'm probably not as some other people in the chat. I mean, life goes on, mate. You know what I mean? It's not all about FPL. No, we'll have to wait and see, mate. I think once the rivalry starts to build up, and we're like, right. But the thing is, as long as we don't have the same freaking team, Steve-O, as long as we don't have the same team, I don't care. Like, about all the in between. I just want us to have a few differentials, and I want that. What gets me excited is when I choose something different that pays off. Unfortunately, it's like any other season. Certainly, last season it seemed that the sheep wins. Whereas I'm hoping that we have a bit more opportunity to get some differentials in and get ahead of the curve on some. But again, the excitement builds the closer we get to game week 1.
Of course, yeah.
I think I'm not going to be like, oh my God, FPL's launched! Like, you know, I'm not going to be like freaking out and ringing up my friends and Mal going, Mel, I can't watch the Lord of the Rings tonight. I'm down in the shed. I'm putting my team for game week 1 together. When's kickoff? When's season kicking off? Oh, almost a month away. Oh, right. Okay. What are you doing then? So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited on the inside, says David Hamill. FPL Max said, I think it's hard for Jason nowadays. As before he had a child, he used to be a lot more streams, but like he said, there's more to FPL. Absolutely, mate. Having a 1.5-year-old child that wants to venture out and literally, he will find any place that is not meant to be accessed, and he will access it. We've got stair gates now downstairs in the lounge, and he hates it. He climbs everywhere. He's a boy, like he's a proper boy, and like, you know, he's proper going for like climbing at the moment. And I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna hurt himself. But I say to Mal, he's gonna fall off, he's gonna hurt himself, you know, and that's what's gonna happen. But she's like, no, we got to stop him. I'm like, no, let him fall, then he knows. Anyway, I'm excited on the inside, absolutely. Right. I think if there's nothing else, we'll let these fine people in the chat go to bed or watch their other FPL channels, whatever floats your boat. Steve-O, you got to go to bed, get your beauty sleep in. I need to get myself
to bed. Because you're up at 4 in the morning.
I'm up at 5 in the morning, and I'm off to Nottingham tomorrow, it would seem. I'm gonna bid you all farewell and successful stream, Steve. We didn't have any dropouts or any technical issues apart from the microphone that I just needed to tweak. But yes, thank you ever so much, guys. Thank you for the subscribes. If you've subscribed, Native Faith and anyone else that subscribed, got some new things going on in the back end. Maybe see you tomorrow. Might see you tomorrow night. Steve, who knows?
Who knows?
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.